Okay, so my name is Dr. Augius. I'm a physical therapist of 18 years. And when Jared came to me and asked what would be like a good fundamental knowledge to impart to the Chiari group in terms of exercise, I felt like I have to review the fundamentals before we go into any real exercise regimen, because I think that the foundational steps are so important. So mindfulness, mindful posture, breath, and postural endurance are the three things that I'm gonna speak about. And these are so important because it balances our nervous system, gives us energy, and reduces body strain and our pain levels. Okay, so that's a little inspirational picture for all of you. So this is the state that we want to achieve when we are good to ourselves, when we're mindful, healthy, strong, doing our best. Okay, so how can mindfulness help? So being aware of yourself and your position is going to be 50% of the challenge to be getting better. Breathing and having intentional breathing while you're basically anytime you're upright and active or engaging in an exercise is going to help, because we don't want to ever encourage the Valsalva maneuver that increases blood pressure and straining of the body. Maintaining a breath ratio, whatever ratio of inhale and exhale for a time period of 3 minutes can set the tone for your exercise session. So if you started your exercise session with 3 minutes of breathing and you basically came to that state that you're going to commit to, like I'm going to commit to breathing at this rhythm, you'll override a lot of problems that can arise with exercise and Chiari. Okay, so there's lots of benefits to doing that. Okay, so posture. We have a human design that of our skeleton that we want a great load from our head through the spine down. Now, because you're already dealing with a change in where your brain is positioned for you, you want to just make sure that your posture is at optimum. Okay. Posture is not only affects your muscles, how your muscles attach to bones, but also how your nerves move and course through the body and have tension on them. Okay. It also improves your organ function because there's space for your organs, as well as the communication of your nerves to your organs. So really, we want to have this big picture. It's not just an exercise, it's for our human system. It's great for posture. So how do we do that? How do we maintain our upright posture? So we want to be mindful. We want to bring the breath, be steady. And then also in exercise, we want to pay attention to our postural endurance muscles. So we focus on, we call them intrinsic muscles, muscles that are deepest into the spine, that hold the spine together. Not necessarily like the bigger muscles on the outside that, like a biceps curl. We want to have integrity to hold up the skeleton. So like that sitting is an exercise, right? Sitting in an upright posture, because those are muscles that are on for you guys know, if you work at the computer, they're on for hours at a time. So we need to make sure that those muscles are happy in their position and endurance. Okay. So these are like a typical neck posture that I see actually a lot, and you'd be surprised. We want to have the view on the left where the person's weight of their head is over the skeleton and the frame of the body. Unfortunately, most of the things that we do in our life are in front of us. So, we tend to hover forward, looking at the computer, eating, slouching. I'll show you some more pictures, but why is it so important? It's because our head weighs about 8 to 10 pounds. And if any of you've studied physics, the further distance away something is from like an upright position, then the weight going through the load is direct. Okay. And we have all these structures that can take that load. As soon as we start to torque it, then the load can't go straight through. It goes in a different area. And then we actually create muscle strain, tightness, weakness, problems. Our nervous system gets strained. So as we go about our lives now, and especially with aging, it gets worse because typically the muscles on the backside of our body, our extensors, get weaker as we get older because we have a fear of falling and there's a little spiral there. But so important to get this number one lesson now. Okay. You can see the skeleton in this person and how the frame of the body inside the bones, the discs, they get actually squished as the head is more forward. That affects the nerves. Okay, that is painful and uncomfortable and can cause more problems. Also, your head is the primary thing that we actually interact with. Like, we look into people's eyes, we speak, and the rest of the body follows the head. Okay, so if your head is going forward, then your shoulders are going to round, your upper back is going to round, your pelvis is going to come out of place. So we really want to pay attention to this top part, and then we also go down to the pelvis, to the bottom part. Okay, but first part is neck. Okay, so a bit of information that I'd like to share with you is the importance of isometric holds. Isometric holds are basically a static contraction of the muscle without movement of the angle of the joint. So basically, if I was going to have my hand here and I'm pushing my other hand, this hand is working, but it's not moving. The muscles in my whole arm are working, but they're not moving. Okay. Same kind of idea as all the muscles that it takes right now for me to sit up straight. I have to engage them and strengthen them. Okay. So we focus on postural endurance, holding a contraction for a period of time. Okay. And these times differ in the body for different muscles. Okay. So for instance, one of the most important ones for the neck and the head is your deep cervical flexor muscle. Okay. So you can see the posture out of posture, all these, the muscles underneath your chin, basically in deep, are your neck flexors and through here. Okay. And these are the ones that you want to tuck and hold for what the studies show. A study was shown that you have actually excellent results of improving your posture with a 17.8 second hold of your deep neck flexor that actually contributed to decreased pain because there's less strain on the body. And my hope for all of you is that in doing the work of this kind of endurance training of your postural muscles, that you would get more space and more relaxation of your nervous system throughout your day, and also learn how to not aggravate that specific part. Okay, so that was deep neck flexors. And also I'm going to be showing a slide of basically the general exercise, but I really encourage everybody to seek a professional consult to learn the exercise first, not trying to do it by yourself, because it's actually very specific and you want to get it right and not do the wrong thing repetitively. You want to do the right thing repetitively. Okay. Okay, so as important of our neck posture is, it's also important our base. Okay, so the base is basically our pelvis and our lower abdominal muscles that support the whole spine. Okay, so it's the same principle. We want our posture stacked, upright, with a normal curve in our spine, not too much forward, not too much back, not too static, upright. Okay. Let's see. These are examples of no-nos. Okay. The one on the left, the middle, and then the guy on the right. Well, he's doing it right. Okay. So the base can't, if you slouch, you actually eliminate the power of support from the lower chain of the body for the spine and the head. Okay. Let me repeat that. If you don't sit up straight and you don't put your pelvis in the right neutral position and engage your lower abdominals and your pelvic floor muscles, you're actually taking away power from your lower chain to offer you support for the spine and the neck. Okay. Again, it's not just men, it's women too. Okay. And then, what is it in our this new generation of things? It's texting. So we also have to be aware of, just all the things that we do when our in this forward momentum of things of texting, holding that phone up. Where do we have our eye gaze? Where do we have our neck position? These are repetitive exercises, right? These are repetitive exercises done the incorrect way. So we want to reroute those and go back to better habits. Holding your phone at as much as eye level or at a place where you can maintain a neutral posture and use your eyeballs to look. Take frequent breaks, set timers, and avoid looking down, and have an ergonomic evaluation of your workstation. Okay. Other things I've encouraged people to do are actually wear your airline snuggle around your neck. That actually does help remind you if you want to break a habit. Okay, so a small exercise that we can run through is to take one of your hands and to place it on the back of your head, like your noggin. So let's see all of our board. Can we all try this together? So we're going to sit up straight, feet flat on the floor, head over neck and shoulders, one hand in back of the head, and then you're going to apply a slight chin tuck. Okay. So it's not a forced down, it's just in neutral, and you're feeling the top of your head lengthening up as if you were sitting in a box and you're trying to get the top of the box to lift. Okay. And then gazing straight ahead at the horizon. So this could be one of your exercises for holding for 18 seconds and then release. Meanwhile, you're breathing, you're calm and strong. Okay. This is another study I wanted to bring forth that actually shows a therapeutic intervention of the same exercise. So this would be the starting point, and actually how specific it can get of monitoring the strength levels of the neck flexor in response to a blood pressure cuff, and monitoring your the resistance that you offer, and then changing the exercises to increased intensities as you get stronger. So again, that would be why seeing a professional would be of value, so they can start you off and give you feedback. Okay. All right. So now that we have some basis of posture and a postural endurance exercise, why it's important, the breath ratio. I wanted to come back to the breath, okay? So keeping a steady breath rate has been shown, like proven, decreases stress levels, brings the body into homeostasis, blood pressure comes down, heart rate comes down. You have more reduced pain because you're releasing neurochemicals. And all it takes is to breathe for 3 minutes. 3 minutes in a ratio of breath can decrease your stress response, whether it be to your day or to pain. Okay, so there are breathing apps. I've mentioned the Kardia breathing app before, that it shows, it gives you a sound. You can breathe with an in, you can breathe with an out. It times you how long your breaths are, and you can set a timer for how long you want to breathe for. So this could also be a very good tool for while you're doing exercise, to have an audio cue to keep you steady. Okay, why else is the breath important? Well, it's actually a musculoskeletal function. And while you are breathing, as you're expanding your chest and your lungs, you're getting oxygen energy. And when you breathe the correct way, you breathe more through the diaphragm. So upper chest breathing becomes a big problem with a lot of people in a normal population, because of bad habits, stress, shock, trauma, pain. Pain can cause us to breathe here because it's our reaction to stress. We short breathe when we're tense. So what does that do to our body? It actually, if we shallow breathe up here, it creates so much tension in these neck muscles, and it brings our head forward, which is the actually opposite thing of what we're trying to do. We're trying to bring our head in that nice, beautiful, neutral posture. Okay, so we're going to, the practice of the breath is important for upper cage. Yes, and you can practice your breath by just simply having your hands over your chest and breathing, and noticing that your hands aren't coming up and down, that your belly is coming up and down. Okay, so you can get feedback. So your abdomen works when you are breathing, and because of your relationship of your abdominal muscles, you actually encourage the use of your pelvic floor muscles. Your pelvic floor muscles are at the base of your pelvis, and think of it as like the bottom bowl of your whole spine. And when you're breathing the correct way, your breath actually gives these muscles tone, which help cinch in your whole pelvis and make the ligaments and the muscles support your spine, which supports your head, which decreases tension on muscles, which decreases tension on nerves. Okay. Oh, right. So the example of breaking the chain, taking away your power. So that happens when your head's forward and physics makes the lever arm stronger, that you're not going to go, and example A, that the chain comes down straight forward of the weight of your body. There will be a weak link, kind of like wherever you're bent or out of posture. And this is created through any postural abnormality. Optimal breathing promotes stability. When we breathe well, we use our diaphragm. It encourages pelvic muscles. It encourages abdominal muscles to support the rest of us. Optimal breathing creates good posture. It's great. Okay. And also I work with the viscera in the body. So a lot of times pain drains us. It makes us tired. And if we don't give enough space to for our organs to function, our heart, our lungs, our intestine, it also makes that part of us sluggish as well. So breathing, good posture, organ function, we want that. Okay. I encourage you to practice breathing in different positions, lying on the floor. You can put little weights across your belly to feel your belly move. Okay, it's also improves diaphragmatic muscle tone. Practice with your hands over your belly to feel the belly expanding, giving yourself good feedback. It actually feels wonderful to be in a calm state of breath. Integrate. Try not to let your chest rise. Put your hand on your belly. Feel the belly rise in a good breath. And then also I wanted to touch into another avenue is one of my interventions of cranial sacral therapy, which is a very light touch to help with these postural alignments in the body for sensitive populations, and just giving your body an opportunity to release myofascial, like the surface myofascial restrictions. So like if you had a balloon that was filled with water and you tapped one end of the balloon, and there would be like a sticky part or an old part of the balloon. And it's like opening up a web of the tension of that balloon through the whole body, so that the underlying ways that your fascia are attached to the membranes of your brain, like through the ear holes and through the top of the skull. These get released and opened. There's like waves of release of tension that helps the posture set back. So then you can actually fine tune, starting with postural engagement and endurance exercises with your breath. Okay, so those are various positions for that. And that's the end of what I had to present. If you wanted to look at me up further, that is my website address. Okay, thank you very much.